It took me 2 years and three neurologists to get my Parkinson's diagnosis. 2 years of wondering, three different specialists, and countless, maybe this tremor is just coming from stress. Now, imagine this something you do every single day, something you've probably already done today. And you know what? Some of you are probably doing it right this second. Could actually detect Parkinson's in minutes. Not talking brain scans, I'm not talking blood tests, and I'm not talking some big hospital equipment. And when I tell you what that is, plus the breakfast food sitting in your kitchen that might quietly be slowing your meds down, you're going to look around your house and you're going to say, who knew?
Welcome to Living with Parkinson's. The good, the bad, and the reality. Real talk, real life, real community with Bryce Perry. Let's begin.
Well, all right. Welcome back to Living with Parkinson's, the good, the bad, and the reality. And today is our first official Who Knew episode. Who Knew? And it's all inspired by BananaGate. Now, if you were here for BananaGate, you remember comments exploded with who knew, right? And then they exploded with show the research. Is that even true? It was chaos. It was beautiful chaos. But, if you remember the BananaGate, hit that like button. Or, you know what? If you just like bananas, hit like. Or maybe if you ever slipped on a banana, hit like. Because in that video, we hit like. I told you hit like. And that video got spread around. We had 1,000 new people find this channel just because of that. So we're going to hit that again. And that episode, though, it really taught me something. If I'm going to bring science to this community, I had better come prepared. So today, I've got three more things that made me stop mid-coffee and say, who knew? And the third one, the one I was talking about in the beginning, I'm not going to tell you what that is yet. That's coming up at the end, and you need to hear that. It blew me away. So let's just talk. Because sometimes when new research comes out, it either gets overhyped or oversimplified. And I don't want to do either. So let me take you back. I remember this random Tuesday morning, right? I took my meds, I sat down, and I made what I thought was like the healthiest breakfast on earth, oatmeal and bananas. And I was feeling really proud of myself. About 45 minutes later, though, I was still stiff. And I remember the thought clearly, oh, great. What if this thing is progressing on me? Because that's kind of where your brain goes sometimes, right? You don't blame the breakfast, you blame Parkinson's. Now, here's what's actually happening when you're eating bananas. Okay, and I'm going to translate this into really simple English. Levodopa has to travel from your gut into your bloodstream. To do that, it shares transport pathways with amino acids. Amino acids come from protein. And bananas contain protein and amino acids. Now, not a steak's worth, okay? But enough that timing can matter for some people. Think of it like this. Levodopa is trying to get through a doorway, okay? Protein molecules are also trying to get through that same doorway. The door doesn't close. It just slows the time to get there. That's it. It's not that bananas are bad. It's that timing matters. Okay? And so if you're noticing that, talk to your neurologist and see if you should switch your timing around. So again, you don't have to swear up bananas, but if you are realizing that maybe they are plugging it up, then you may have to change it around. Okay? So maybe it's your dose, maybe it was the traffic, maybe it was just the banana, who knew? And if that caught you off guard back then, hit like right now, because somebody else might be blaming themselves for something that's just about absorption timing. And the more this video gets pushed, the more you like it, okay? The more you comment in the comments, who knew? The more people will stop beating themselves up over breakfast, okay? Anyway, that's amazing. So let's get into this one. This is a really interesting one to me, okay? And this one hits a lot closer to home. And when my symptoms started, right, they started on one side of my body. How about you? Did your symptoms, did they start on the left or the right? At the time, I didn't really think much about it. But over the months after diagnosis, something else shifted for me. It was really subtle. Okay. I was quicker. I was more impulsive. I was maybe less hesitant. And I remember this one time. Okay. I was doing a talk somewhere, and I was standing in there, and Carmen and I call this the reception seating incident. So 10 minutes before I'm about to start, before guests are arriving, my brain decides it's time to kind of reorganize, reset the room. Carmen says, like, no, 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 no. But I was determined. Now, let me tell you the science behind that. The brain is laterarized, right? The left and the right hemispheres process emotions differently. Now, listen to this closely. Some studies are showing that left side onset can correlate with higher anxiety and depression tendencies. And right side onset can correlate with impulsivity or emotional flattening tendencies. What? So, where your symptoms started, if your symptoms started on the left side, okay, on that left side, anxiety, depression, on the right side, impulsivity and emotional flattening. So, in the comments, does that hit? Where did you start? Did your symptoms start on the left? And are you more more full of anxiety, or did they start on the right, and you're more full of impulsivity? Or nope, none of that applies to me. Let's put that in the comments. Let's start our own little research here right now, because uh, we're a pretty darn big community, and so let's just see what everybody else has to say. Okay, so now it's not guaranteed, but patterns. Okay, patterns. And here's the emotional part, because if you ever feel different after diagnosis, like you felt different, things were just so different, right? You might think that you're losing yourself, but maybe, just maybe, you're not losing yourself. Maybe your circuitry shifted slightly. And when you understand that, that softens things. That softens conversations at home. That softens how you talk to yourself. Okay. And sometimes that softness is medicine. Who knew? Now, did you know that? If you knew that, let me know in the comments you knew that. And if you didn't, give me a who knew in the comments. Okay. Now, quick pause. The last time that we talked about bananas, 1,000 of you hit like on the episode in like the first day, and YouTube blasted it out everywhere. And what happened was almost 1,000 new people subscribed in that week. So YouTube said, huh, people that are in this community really think this video is good, or this episode's good, and they showed it to a bunch of new people who obviously needed to hear it. And you might be one of those people right now watching this. So we can do that again. Okay. It's that kind of breakdown. If this kind of breakdown helps you feel less alone, then hit the like button. Okay. And if you're watching this regularly, you're watching our broadcast regularly and you're not subscribed, well, we need to have a talk because we're building something here. We really are. So I'm going to ask you today, don't just lurk, join, because there are 50,000 people that are watching this episode, these broadcasts on a regular basis. That means 30,000 of you and me, we're just dating. So what do I need to do? No, I'm just teasing. But the more people subscribe, it's free to subscribe, doesn't cost anything or anything like that. But if you hit that subscribe button, again, YouTube will show this to even more people that really need to hear the real, honest truth about Parkinson's. Okay? Now, if you're ready for this, the third one, this one is wild because it has nothing to do with food. It has nothing to do with personality. It has to do with something that you've already done today. And it could shorten that 2-year wait that I went through and what you've gone through. It's wild. But before I tell you that, it's time for Carmen's Care Partner Corner. And this is what my wife Carmen asked me to read to you today. When Bryce learned about the bananas, he didn't panic, he adjusted. That's what research should do. It shouldn't scare us, it should steady us. So when emotions shift, We don't argue about personality. We pause and we ask why. And when symptoms feel louder, we start to look for patterns instead of trying to look for something to blame. The most powerful thing that a couple can do with Parkinson's is to stay curious instead of defensive. Now that line hits. Stay curious instead of defensive. That's awesome. Thank you, Carmen. That was really good. Okay. Well, as promised, 2 years, 3 neurologists, and now imagine this. You call your sister, right? You say, "Hey, how you doing?" "Hey, I'm fine," right? Just talking, regular talk. But you're not hearing anything different. You're not seeing anything different. But your phone might. Now, here's what researchers are studying right now. Parkinson's affects breath support, vocal cord stability, speech rhythm, and micro tremor. There's a micro tremor in muscle control. Okay? Not loud tremor, right? Tiny tremor. And guess what? AI can measure it. It can measure subtle reductions in vocal volume. AI is starting to measure micro tremor vibration, rhythmic timing shifts, softened consonants, things that humans can't detect consistently. And it doesn't diagnose, right? It doesn't diagnose from one call. It detects patterns over time. So instead of waiting 2 years for a visible tremor or something like that, one day software could flag changes earlier. Now, that's not replacing doctors, but that is accelerating awareness. And if diagnosis happens sooner, treatment starts sooner. Education starts sooner. Lifestyle adjustments start sooner. And that matters because 2 years of wondering or 3 years or however it was, that's heavy. That's heavy. Who knew? Who knew that your phone could start picking up and determining and hearing if you have Parkinson's? Amazing. Kitchen, brain, pocket. Who knew? Well, which one hit you the hardest? The banana, the emotional onset, or the phone? And be honest, did you know any of these? Let me know in the comments. And if you're sitting there thinking, how is this not common knowledge? That's your cue. That's your cue. You're in the right place. And you know what? Since you made it this far, you've unlocked today's Bryce-ism. And here it is. If you're ready, I really like this one. With Parkinson's, even the good foods can have bad timing, which is why half of us are out here trying to figure out if we're reacting to the banana or the banana may be reacting to us. And honestly, sometimes the breakthrough isn't the discovery. It's the reframe. And listen, the last time, almost 1,000 of you hit like on one episode, and YouTube blasted everywhere, like I said. So almost 1,000 new people joined that community in 1 week. So let's try something. If this episode hits 1,000 likes, then you know what? Why don't we make Who Knew a monthly thing? Just once a month. Surprising science. Prepared, broken down, no panic, no nonsense, just clarity. Because clarity lowers fear, and fear makes symptoms louder. So if you want this to become a series, hit the like button, let me know in the comments, and let's see what happens. And you know what? I waited 2 years, and if something in your kitchen, right, your brain, or even in your pocket, or right in front of you right now, can shorten that for somebody else someday, that's not hype. That's hope. And hope matters. And until next time, I want you to keep showing up. I want you to keep being real. And I want you to keep doing life today. I love you, and I'll see you on the next episode.
Parkinson's may be part of your life, but it doesn't get to define it. Thanks for listening to Living with Parkinson's, the good, the bad, and the reality. If this episode moved you, helped you, or reminded you you're not alone, share it with someone who needs to hear it. Want to go deeper? The Inner Circle is waiting. Monthly Zoom calls, 24/7 community, and a direct line to Bryce. You'll find the link in the show notes. Until next time, keep showing up and keep doing life today.